The veil that separates us. Once a year, the Bakirpasa Kosk, a rundown mansion in an affluent area of Istanbul, would literally vanish off the face of the earth for several seconds before momentarily reappearing again. This 200-year-old building has been manifesting anomalous attributes for more than 30 years, becoming one of the city's most infamous paranormal locations. Exactly what causes the building to vanish is unclear, but local folklore suggests that it's transported to another location, or even reality for a brief period of time. But this is not the most unsettling attribute about this area, or even Istanbul. In addition to the sightings of phantom apparitions, the Bakirpasa mansion is just one of several places in the city where the very fabric of reality is said to become so contorted and warped that space and time loses all meaning. In two previous episodes, we looked at the possibility of wormholes existing in Iraq. We first examined them through the lens of Mesopotamian mythology via the Sumerian deity known as Tiamat, where we hypothesized that creatures from local folklore are transported to our reality through her body like a wormhole by some kind of mystical process. We then took an opposite perspective and looked at this as a purely scientific and a technological concept via a device known as a Stargate, where individuals can not only instantly travel across large distances, but also see hypothetical projections of future timelines across the multiverse. The link to those episodes can be found in the description box below. But there are other types of gateways in Middle Eastern tradition where not only individuals can be instantaneously moved from one location to another, but also entire structures. For example, in ancient Omani folklore, there is a mosque that is said to be able to translocate itself to distant locations overnight, as it was built by Jinn, which is a race of invisible creatures from Islamic tradition. While today in 21st century Turkey, there is a villa that displays similar anomalous attributes that many modern-day Istanbul residents have claimed to have witnessed. In the affluent Bakırköy district, amongst the rows of apartment blocks and middle-class villas, there is a rundown mansion many residents in the area believe to be haunted. Since the 1970s, this dilapidated 19th century house has been exhibiting anomalous attributes that go beyond your classic haunting scenario. According to eyewitness accounts, the entire structure would momentarily vanish for 5 seconds once a year, at no set date before reappearing again.
Adı çıkmış yok böyle bir şey, ev kaybolmuş, ben hiç bir yerde ne duydum.
Even though there has yet to be any recorded evidence of it ever doing so, the legend persists with some long-term residents in the area saying they have witnessed the phenomena. While the mansion's ability to vanish or shift locations is questionable, given the lack of evidence, other more common supernatural manifestations have been observed on its grounds. According to the paranormal investigator Paul Dale Roberts, one evening, 3 witnesses in the neighborhood saw an indefinable creature circling the roof, land on it, and then float away. This is not the only unexplainable phenomena this quarter of Istanbul has become known for. A short 22-minute drive from Bakirpasa is the Grand Bazaar, one of the oldest and largest markets in the world. Like the mansion, this souk is also said to exhibit reality-bending attributes. For the most part, the Grand Bazaar is actually a regular place where nothing out of the ordinary occurs. Built in 1461 with an aesthetic design that resembles a giant maze, this historical shopping area consists of close to 61 streets and more than 3,600 shops. However, it's within the oldest part of this bazaar where the location's anomalous attributes tend to manifest. In addition to the numerous jinn encounters reported in this particular part of the souk, where sightings of dead merchants have apparently been witnessed, it is believed as an explanation that a hidden gateway, be it physical or supernatural, exists in this area. It is this alleged gateway that has led to an urban legend that states that there is a labyrinth of underground tunnels that connects the bazaar to hidden city-sized subterranean habitats beneath Istanbul. This is the natural explanation. The supernatural explanation states that this gateway, that may be one of several, is in fact interdimensional and connects to the world of the Jinn. According to Paul Dale Roberts in the fall of 1998, while exploring the various shapes of the bazaar, a young woman by the name of Fariha Teke claims she witnessed an event that cannot be rationally explained. Hit by a sudden bout of vertigo, she recounts that the air around the bazaar began moving like a translucent wave. She noticed that most other people in the busy market were unaware of the phenomena while it occurred, although there were a few who were looking in its general direction as if they were noticing that something was not quite right. According to Fariha, the waves then became an oval opening, and from it, a spectral entity emerged. She describes the emerging creature as looking like a bald-headed man sporting a ponytail. His body was almost completely transparent, apart from its outline that came in the form of a human male. And when the portal closed, the spectral creature moved at lightning speed into the crowd, vanishing from sight. So where exactly did this entity come from? And where could the Bakirpasa mansion be going? Within Islam, it is stated that there is a type of spiritual realm where the jinn exist. Amira Zayn in her book, Islam, Arabs and the Intelligent World of the Jinn, states that as spiritual entities, the jinn are considered dual-dimensional, with the ability to live and operate in both manifest and invisible domains. In the Muslim faith, it is said that a veil separates the world of the jinn and the world of the humans. However, although the exact nature of the veil is unclear, maybe quantum mechanics can provide us with a clue. In the book, The Vengeful Jinn, Unveiling the Hidden Agenda of Genies, the authors Rosemary Guiley and Philip J. Imbrogno states that M in string theory can explain where the jinn exist and why we're unable to see that place. Although they sometimes wrongfully conflate the terms alternative universes, the multiverse, and dimensions as all variations of the same phrase, which they are not, they do spark an interesting discussion on the physics of our reality and how the world of the jinn can theoretically fit within it. They state, when we consider the many variations of string theory, it is easier to accept the idea that jinn exist in another dimension rather than our own in the multiverse. This race of beings would be invisible to us in our spatial plane of reality. So building off Guiley and Imbrogno's theory, let's explain how dimensions work via M theory and where the jinn fit in. Our current understanding of reality recognizes that the human race lives in a three-dimensional world that is defined as forward and backwards, up and down, on an XY scale. The word dimension literally refers to a scale of measurement, with our three-dimensional world, or 3D, governed by a fourth dimension called time. Quantum mechanics posits that there could be up to 11 or more different types of dimensions. So our question is, what if each dimension could be home to a specific class of life, such as jinn? With that question in mind, what would a lower two-dimensional world and its theoretical life forms look like to us using M theory? Simple. Just look at a photograph. Beings with 3D capacity, like us humans, would be able to view a flat 2D world such as a photograph or a TV screen with ease. But beings from a 2D world would be unable to see what our 3D world really looks like, essentially making us partially invisible to them. This law of visibility applies to every dimension. No matter what dimension a being is in, they can only see the dimensions below, and only partially the next dimension above. Therefore, since humans are only three-dimensional beings, we cannot physically see the fourth dimension, which is time. However, a 4D being would be able to view our 3D world and our timeline in its entirety from beginning to end, from the creation of the universe until the end of time. Moving up a step, a higher fifth dimensional being will not only be able to see our complete timeline like a fourth dimensional being, but they can also see all possible timelines across a multiverse of timelines. A sixth dimensional being would be able to see beyond that, and a seventh beyond that, and so on and so forth. So what dimension could the jinn be in? Now, since jinn are somewhat limited by the progress of time, much like us humans, then we can guess that they exist somewhere between the third and the fourth dimension. The Holy Quran portrays jinns as occupants of a parallel world of spirits, so using in theory, we can say that they are in essence higher dimensional creatures, compared to us, that they have the ability to observe our 3D world while remaining invisible to us. The Holy Quran states, "Lo, he, the devilish Iblis, sees you, he and his tribe, from whence you see him not." If the veil that separates dimensions are a natural part of nature, there may be naturally occurring weaknesses in it that allows our dimensions to interact with each other. This may be the case with the Grand Bazaar and the Bakirpasa Mansion, two locations that may serve as small examples of anomalous phenomena that link the world of quantum physics and spirituality together in ways we still do not fully understand. So what do you think? Leave a comment below and hit the like button. Also, many of the people who regularly visit the channel are not subscribed yet, so please do. Your support here helps the growth of this channel. And thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you want to pledge your support, follow the link in the description below. The mysterious Middle East has gotten some new supporters, but Patreon is not informing us of who they are due to some glitch in their system. So please send an email or a DM so we can be sure to include your name in the credits. Thanks for watching.